Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh. We got a good one for you today. As always, here's what to watch for as we get into the second real phase of Trump's impeachment, as we're in the Senate, baby. That's what's going on, right? We are in the Senate. Also, Lev Parnas, a key player in the Ukraine affair, completes his break with Donald Trump Giuliani. He's talking now. We will begin our coverage of reviewing the Iowa debates and an analysis of 30 years of single-payer research shows Medicare for all would absolutely save the U.S. money. All right, so with this Trump impeachment, here is what to watch. So Thursday will be the beginning of a new phase of the impeachment trial process. The Senate lays the procedural groundwork for the trial of President Donald Trump, only the third such proceeding in American history. The House voted on Wednesday to send these two articles of impeachment to the Senate, naming 7 impeachment managers who marched across the Capitol to hand-deliver the final version of the articles, charging Trump with abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, the Republican of Kentucky, outlined how the Senate trial would unfold. While a number of steps will take place, McConnell indicated on Wednesday the Senate planned to focus on other matters for the rest of the week, including moving forward on the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement, slated for a vote this morning, and then the more substantive part of the trial will begin in earnest on Tuesday after this upcoming holiday weekend. So what we're expecting to see is the 7 House managers will return to the Senate chamber to read aloud the articles of impeachment. Chief Justice John Roberts will make a trip across the street from the Capitol from the Supreme Court to be sworn in as the presiding officer of the trial and administer oaths to all 100 senators who will, quote-unquote, raise their hands and, quote-unquote, swear to do impartial justice. Like, not every single one in that person, every single person in that room's mind is not made up. Come on. It's a little ridiculous. And then they're going to take turns signing a book attesting that oath. So when we're likely to see this happening, the managers are expected to arrive for the reading at noon, and Chief Justice is expected to arrive around 2 p.m. The oath taking and book signing will follow, so it's pretty much just going to be a big show. By Senate rules, once Chief Justice John Roberts is sworn in, a summons is to be issued to the president, who will have an opportunity to address the charges laid out in the articles for impeachment. The Senate is also expected on Thursday to set due dates for trial briefs from the House managers and the President's Counsel, providing some clarity on when initial filings must be submitted. There are some new details to consider in this situation. At the same time, the articles of impeachment were being signed and delivered on Wednesday. New details about the impeachment inquiry emerged from a trove of evidence released by House Democrats concerning Trump's personal lawyer, Rudolph Giuliani, and his associates. Documents included in the release offered new insights into how one of the associates, Lev Parnas, a Soviet-born businessman, helped advance Giuliani's pressure campaign in Ukraine. So, and it looks like the New York Times, according to the New York Times and Rachel Maddow, through an interview last night, they have made a full breakaway from this situation. So, let's get more into this here. This guy, in an interview with the New York Times on the day of the House transmitted articles of impeachment against Trump to the Senate, Parnas also he really expressed regret for having trusted Trump and Rudy Giuliani, the president's personal lawyer and the architect of the Ukraine pressure campaign. His lawyers said he was eager to cooperate with federal prosecutors investigating Giuliani. So this is a pretty big news here. It kind of shows you that he's kind of done. He's like, you know what? We are not going to we're not really going to have any of this. I'm not going to go down in the flames here. Anyway, so yeah, even though no one's really probably going to go down. But anyway, Parnas has made his remarks as the House impeachment investigators released more material he had turned over to them. The material included text messages, photos, calendar entries, and underscored how deeply Parnas and others were involved in carrying out the pressure campaign and how new information continues to surface even as the Senate prepares to begin Trump's trial next week. And it provided additional evidence that the effort to win political advantage for Trump was widely known among his allies, showing that Parnas communicated regularly with two top fundraisers about what he was up to. So these text messages and call logs showed that Parnas was in contact with Tom Hicks Jr., a donor and Trump family friend, and Joseph Ahern. Again, this is according to the New York Times here, about developments in the Ukraine pressure campaign. In text messages, Parnas kept Hicks and Ahern apprised of efforts to disseminate damaging information about targets to Trump and Giuliani, including the United States ambassador to Kiev, former VP Joe Biden Jr., and Ukrainians who spread information about Paul Manafort, Trump's 2016 campaign chairman. So that is pretty much a summary of what's going on there. It's going to be a pretty big deal. And it really, what he's kind of doing now is serving to provide a full picture of who knew what, where, and when from someone who's really on the inside of the team. And that's something that's really pretty substantial. So credit to him for doing that. Credit to him for coming out and apparently saying that like he's nervous for his safety, which is, again, something I don't really buy. To be honest, I'm not really following this too completely, just trying to get you caught up on what's going on here. So once you hear everything going on, then that's kind of what it is. You can go check that out in the Times or whatever major media outlet you feel you can trust. But, all right, now let's turn to our contest to find the next presidential candidate, the Iowa debate. And really, in the Iowa debate, it wasn't Elizabeth Warren who was Bernie Sanders' most vociferous opponent. He was getting really attacks from CNN all night long. All right, let's get into how that happened. Ahead of the August 2015 Fox News debate, the company chair Rupert Murdoch issued a directive to debate moderator Megyn Kelly. The Donald Trump thing has gone long enough. It's time to take him down. Kelly took a bat to Trump, listing off his most misogynistic remarks, asking how he could explain them to voters, but obviously, Trump ended up winning that war. However many years, 4 years, 5 years later. So the Democrats assembled in Iowa Tuesday for the opportunity to take him on in the upcoming general election. This time, though, it was CNN moderators who brought out the bat and swung it hard at Senator Bernie Sanders. The Vermont Independent has recently topped a major Iowa poll last week, compounding fears that only recently emerged, funnily enough, among the establishment. I think that's really is Bernie Sanders' saving grace. They writ him off until like the week before Christmas. Then they were like, oh, shoot, Bernie may win. What are we going to do? Okay, quick. Let's get all the stories up. Come on. Please. Like, that's really what's going on here. So in contrast to Sanders' treatment, former Vice President Joe Biden, the national frontrunner, was barely touched either by moderators or his rivals for what is literally the 90th straight time. But anyway, CNN moderator Abby Phillip opened a line of questioning about the recent feud between Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. That was, again, manufactured literally entirely by Elizabeth Warren. So CNN moderator, she opened that up, saying, quote, CNN reported yesterday that Senator Sanders and Elizabeth Warren confirmed in a statement that in 2018 you told her that you did not believe a woman could win the election. Why'd you say that? And he goes, as a matter of fact, I didn't. But anyway, the moderators use of Warren to confirm a version of the story that originally came from Warren's account of the meeting at the time, signaling which side CNN was really fully taking. And it was a really great, I think, example of this. And I do want to get into this because it's a great article recapping this. This is only one of the examples. One of them, literally, Wolf Blitzer started off the this past debate, and was like, literally with the remarks of, Bernie Sanders, you agree with the Ayatollah. You think troops should be removed from Iran, and the last time you did that, ISIS started. How do you respond? Like, really? Like, come on. Yeah, but of course we all know, this is again the quote, CNN debate moderator Abby Phillips asking, whatever her name is, asking Bernie Sanders at the Tuesday debate in Des Moines. CNN reported yesterday that Senator Warren confirmed in a statement that in 2018 you told her you did not believe that a woman could win the election. Why did you say that? Again, no, did you say that, but why did you say that? Sanders obviously denied it, then listed the many reasons the story makes no sense. Quote, he saying that he urged Warren to run in 2016, campaigned for a female candidate who won the popular vote by 3 million votes, and has been saying literally the opposite in public since 1988. There's a video of me 30 years ago talking about how a woman could be president of the United States. Philip asked him to clarify, saying, quote, he never said it. That's correct. Philip then turned to Warren and literally said, Senator Warren, what did you think when Senator Sanders, she shouldn't talk like that. She goes, Senator Warren, what did you think when Senator Sanders told you a woman could not win the election? That when was literally as transparent as a media fuck you as we've seen in a presidential debate. Evoked memories of another infamous CNN ambush when Bernard Shaw in 1988, by the way, coincidentally, when Sanders was literally saying that a woman could become president, crotch-kicked Mike Dukakis with a question about whether he'd favor the death penalty for someone who raped and murdered his wife, Kitty. But this time, the whole network tossed the mud. Over a 24-hour period before and during and after the debate, CNN bid farewell to what remained of its reputation as a non-political actor via a remarkable stretch of factually dubious reporting, bent commentary, and heavy-handed messaging. The cycle began with a bombshell expose by CNN reporter MJ Lee released on the eve of the debate. Lee reported that Warren's claim that Sanders told her a woman couldn't win in a December 2018 meeting. Lee treated the story as fact, using constructions as such as Sanders responded that he didn't think a woman could win, and the revelation that Sanders expressed the skepticism that Warren could win. Lee said the conversation opened a window into the role of sexism and gender inequality in politics. Like, yeah, so it's like, it's really crazy that happened. Like, how is it possible? Like, what? That happened? Like, that total, like, no skepticism. Because she unquestionably got this from, and I think CNN has confirmed that they got this from Warren people, which is really hilarious. It's like, it's really, really hilarious that this is what happened. But, yeah, all Warren associated people, none of which were in the room at the time, because it was, again, a private meeting they just decided to release. Like, if it sounds familiar, it's because it's the same construction that's driven countless other shaky stories from in the past, from WMD reports to Russiagate speculations. An unconfirmable hearsay story is conveyed by one source who gives the reporter numbers of 2 or 3 other people in the office who've heard the same tale from the same place, and voila, a one-source pony is now factual, according to several people familiar with the matter. That's how that happens, which is pretty interesting. CNN hyped this feud between Sanders and Warren the whole day. This is going to be a heavyweight match tonight. It's going to be frisky. It's going to be competitive, says former DNC chair and commentator Terry McAuliffe, is one of the ratings humping aspect of this whole gross episode. Check out this exchange between Jake Tapper and Democratic strategist Hillary Rosen. Hillary, let me start with you. The explanation that we heard from the Sanders campaign was, look, they got their wires crossed. Senator Sanders was trying to say Trump will exploit misogyny and sexism and make it difficult for a woman to win, and pretty much saying that, again, he didn't say that. Hillary Rosen said yes. Jake Tapper was saying he wasn't saying that he doesn't believe a woman will win. And then Hillary Rosen comes in with what they were saying is the little lady was misunderstood. And then there's raucous laughter on the CNN set. Anyway, the debate preview show hosted by Anderson Cooper, featuring the likes of McAuliffe, former Clinton comms person Jess McIntosh, so you know what side she's on here, and former senior advisor to Barack Obama, David Axelrod, was full of handwriting about